Hello, everyone, and welcome to Painless Universal, a conversation with myself and Welsh. Today, I'll be talking to Stephanie Tumba. Stephanie is a real estate investor, advisory board member. She's been featured in Forbes and Cosmopolitan. She's an author and real estate investor and a mentor. What inspires me to talk to Stephanie is to understand the issues of dealing during coronavirus pandemic. So many people are struggling to find the one they truly love with all the pain going on with the virus, not knowing what do they do or not do. She was born and raised in France by Congolese parents. She's a London-based international entrepreneur, author, co-founder of the London dating agency. You can see why that brings me on to talk to her about this critical subject. She also holds a degree in international business management and had previously worked at L'Oreal and LVMH. Her book, 100 Dates and a Wedding, is available on Amazon. Meet Stephanie. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Painless Universal Conversation with myself and Welsh. I have the amazing Stephanie here. Stephanie, as I said in my introduction, she's a lot of things, and an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, an author, motivational speaker as well. And Stephanie, I'm really delighted you joined me today. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for asking. What about you? How are you?
I'm well. I'm very well today. It's one of those days where you wake up and you just feel so much positivity, and I just feel that to myself. I feel lots of positive energy. So I hope I transfer that energy to yourself as we go along this, Yes. I was looking at your bio and everything about yourself, and I'm so fascinated about who you are as a person because you truly inspire me. Before we get into that, can you tell us a little bit about who are you? Who is Stephanie?
Who is Stephanie? I will describe to someone I just met.
Yeah.
England, I tend not to do that, but I would say I'm Stephanie. I'm an entrepreneur. I've been in the UK for 10 years now, living in London here. I'm French originally. I think I was born. My parents are from the Congo, Africa, where I once, and I absolutely loved it. And I would describe myself as a creative entrepreneur. I do creative things, I do more financial things, and I absolutely love what I do, and I learn a lot through that process. Even today, I learn about myself, about people around me, about humanity, and it also helped me to tweak a little bit my journey and my goals. So it's been a very, very journey, a very
Oh,
interesting.
I know. It's just talking about journey. I'm going to go backwards into your life, and I noticed that at the beginning you went to at university you studied language, and you didn't do much like that. So you decided to go on to a switch into investment. Then you went on to marketing. So what drove you to that switch?
Firstly, I have in all transparency, I love my parents very much. But ideally, at first, I wanted to be a creative. I wanted to be in fashion. I wanted to paint. I wanted something like that. And back then, my parents thought, it's not a job. You need to and go to uni. So because I was very good at languages, I decided, and I didn't, when you see yourself in a career and someone tells you and says, you're not going there, you're like a little bit lost. What am I going to do? So I picked what I'm good at, and I started learning English at uni. And at the same time, I had a business with my sisters, and we completely failed. And I thought, you know what? No, I need to learn business.
Yeah.
Quite right. Then that was my first switch. And because I was good in finance, math, and all those things, I started with finance. And I had a little bit of marketing, the first year. I was like, I like marketing. I like that I can use my creativity here. And and I found myself like with some skills in marketing and slash creative, and some skills in finance and number, a little bit of my logical side of the brain. So both are today used, and I'm really happy with that.
I know it's people don't realize that marketing has a lot of things to do with creativity. because it's so you're just this person creative, but you also need to know how to market your stuff, and to do it, you need to have that creative side of your brain. But what I saw you went on to do was an investment. You went on to build an investment portfolio, like on the real estate side. How did you transpire from all of that to get to this stage now?
I started pretty young, to be honest, with my dad, because he was himself in real estate. He retired now, but back then he was. And he said to all of the girls, because we're like three girls, two big sisters, and three brothers, but they're younger, you need to invest in real estate. So after my business collapsed with my sisters we were 17, when I was 17, I started selling arts door to door. Because it was a way for me to go to uni, have a little bit of a hobby, because it was art done by unknown creatives and artists. So I was selling that, and I saved a lot of money. And with my parents' help, I bought my first flat. So that's how the story really started. But then, I put that aside. I wasn't about to invest much more, but I had then, when I was married, I had the opportunity to buy other flats in the same building. So I did. But initially, I wasn't about to go there. It was just, oh, my dad said I need one flat. So I'll save money for that, and that was it. And then all through the years, I realized that the value increased, and that was a good point to do it.
So one thing just led to another. You didn't stop there. You went on to
Yeah,
you went on to start a dating agency, and not just that, you're an author. How did you combine from real estate to becoming an author and starting a dating agency? Was there a gap in the market that made you feel this is something I need to focus on?
yeah. So it wasn't. So real estate, I invested, and that was a side, like you and everybody in that planet can invest in, then, and build your portfolio. And then I started investing in startups. And when I started my business, I got divorced 4 or 5 years ago.
Mm.
I was discovering a dating scene that I absolutely didn't know. And I was so shocked by the difference in terms of culture between what I've known in France and in England, that I started writing a journal, a blog, and it started like that, and then it became a book. When I book, that woman, Mia, my business partner, came to me and said, "You're busy, the perfect fit. I want to open a matchmaking agency." In fact, it was already open. "I would love to have you as a business partner because you wrote that book. You have what I don't have." And she had, at the time, what I didn't have. She had the skill of a matchmaker, and I had the knowledge of London scene, sadly. I had the knowledge of the dating
Having
scene.
recently been divorced, of course you.
I've been in 100 dates. and I dated, um, and I dated a variety, obviously, of men, the English, the Londoner, Cockney, French. French in London is different from a French in Paris, and in French in Marseille as well. So I had that understanding of the market that she didn't have. So we combine our forces, and we work together. And in fact, I'm the managing director only since January.
Wow.
It's pretty.
Wow, that's an inspirational story. I mean, and now more than ever with the whole COVID thing, it's pretty hard for a lot of people to date. I've talked to so many women. How are you helping that transition phase of that pre-COVID, of being afraid of dating to now dating again?
Today, it's even better because, before, offline, you have two person having a date, and sometimes they don't know how to break the ice. It's a bit awkward. What can we start with, chatting about? It's a bit weird. And first dates are basically the most important. The first date is basically the most important one. So it's a bit, can be a bit disappointing. However, now with the Zoom dates, what's happening? Stephanie, Mia, or Louise,
Mm.
we are here. Mark meets Emma, Emma meets Mark. We matched you guys because X, Y, Z. There we go. Bye. And it breaks the ice, and it's much more nicer. So we have much more successful first dates.
Wow. This is
However,
Mm.
obviously, people during the lockdown didn't understand, why should I pay a premium? Why we can't even meet?
Yes, yes, yes.
It was a little bit quite challenging for us.
Yeah.
So now
Uh-huh.
we have our Love at First Dial package that is cheaper than the standard package, and people just meet online, and we do everything online, and you don't have those bonuses where you have the photographer coming to your place, taking pictures with a hair stylist and makeup artist and everything, so on and so forth. But it works, very well. But obviously, I'm not going to lie, towards our target, we are 20-30% less than we, at this stage as today, less than we expected.
Yeah, no, I think it's still a challenging market, because I'm even thinking myself, we're having this conversation, and if I was in a dating scene, the first step happens, but what happens after that? How do I go into the next step? How do I calm that conversation? Was that feeling really there? But there's still an opening, and the Zoom one actually is a big way of breaking that ice. We're moving on from this stage of things, of dating, to being an entrepreneur. You're a female woman, you're an entrepreneur. You started this business since a very young time. And what inspires me about you is that you started it young with your sisters, and you failed at that first business, and you're not ashamed to talk about it, because a lot of people think failure is bad. And I say to people, failure is actually good. But from your failure, you've moved on to great things. How do we inspire other women to take on that lead of entrepreneurship? Because it's very hard as a female to be an entrepreneur. And this is something on your website, you're very passionate about it. You talk about the need to empower more females to be entrepreneurs.
Yes, I think a lot of people are afraid to fail and afraid of what people would tell. It's all about what they think, what they say. Oh my God, I will look stupid or anything like that. And for me, I had an entrepreneur dad who was really, really, he educated us very well. He always said the sky is your limit. And that I'm really grateful to have him in my life still. And so we've never been really afraid of anything. And all of us, though now, life with experience, sometimes you make you a little bit more wary, but we've never been that afraid. If even the first business, my dad was, yeah, girls, go for it. If he was very, he was laughing at us, but he was very, very proud, because we were working as three sisters together. So that as well, my dad had strong family values, so he was very happy with that. And and where we fell here, it's money wise. So, and obviously, I learned to say no, because our first company was an event company. We were organizing birthdays and weddings, and people will give us a budget, and we will go around it. And what was often happening at the time, I was 17, 18, people would add up and say, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And I would be scared to ask for more money. So happening is, at the end, I was left with 50 euros or 100 euros. And I was like, did it all this work worth it? It doesn't worth me being paid 100 euros at the end. There's something I need to learn here, like how to deal with those things. And obviously we went bankrupt, because you can't sustain with when you earn 100 euros for a big event with 100 people. I've never earned more than 500 euros, which is not big. So that's why I needed to learn more about this. And for me, all of my failures brought me something in my life, all of them. And believe me, and yesterday I made a mistake, and I thought, oh, maybe I should have done that, differently. And always I try to learn. I have what I call every Sunday that self-awareness moment where I look back at the week and I'm like, what I could have done better,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
what I not regret, because you learn, but what did I learn from this week,
Mm.
and how do I need to share? How do I need to change? So I'm yeah. I'm always learning, always. And yes, I make mistakes. I probably may make some this afternoon or tomorrow and this week, but I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid, especially today. And I'm not afraid, to start all over again.
That's very true. And what would you advise other female entrepreneurs?
Go for it. There that say, if I can remember, from Richard Branson, that says, you know, do it, or something around those lines. Do it, even if you fail in it. Even if you're not ready, do it, because you will never be completely ready. Because all those roadblocks and challenges, nobody can teach you and let you know before. Nobody. It's surprising. Even if you make it as perfect as you can, there's another challenge that will be coming in another way, and that will make everything challenging. So you will never be perfectly ready for any entrepreneurial journey.
I agree as well, because there's just nothing in life that it's even almost like being a mother as well. People could tell you this is what it's going to be like, this is the experience you're going to have with your child, or this is this, but nothing really prepares you until you actually have that baby of your own and hold it in your hand. And that is a total different game. And you realize that everyone has told you, but my own baby was different, and what you said didn't make sense. So you always have to just, if you want something, you just have to go for it, and let life teach you along the way. I love a thing about you. You said it's a decision you make to live a life of joy. And
Yes.
I love that. I love that text from you. It's a decision you make to live a life of joy. What do
Yeah.
you mean by that? Could you explain that, and how can we live a life of joy?
Doing like I said very recently to someone,
Yeah.
you do what you like. I think she was passionate about art and something, and she was like, oh, I'm not sure I want to go this route, there's no money. I said, no, don't think money, think what you like. Money will come after. And that's, for example, what I'm doing today, I didn't choose to do it. The market chose me. Life put me in that place, and I absolutely love it, and I'm really grateful for that. But if tomorrow, even if a startup comes to me and the founder is annoying, and I know that in 10 years I can be a billionaire, I would say no. Because I'm happy, I want to be relaxed. I want to do something I like, work with people I like. And as soon, and sorry, also in friendship, if I see that you don't bring the joy that I'm trying to bring to you, and there's no value, and I'm thinking about of exchange in our relationship, I'm not willing to be a friend, because I believe in exchanging positivity, joy, advice, tips, all those sort of things, and be happy to do so. Generally happy. So that's why I choose to work with the people I want, to work for the company I like, to work with people I get on well with, and organize my life. If I'm like, I'm tired, want to work anymore, I want to horse ride or something like that, I will cancel my meetings and say, I'm off.
Yeah.
Because decision, I feel like I need something else today, and that's it. Because when I started my business, I thought, every time I was having an email, every time, call, now, and I thought, you know what, Steph, they can wait tomorrow.
Yes.
Can't they?
Yes.
Yeah, we jump on any opportunities. They can wait tomorrow. If it's really urgent, they will call. Relax. And then when I learned to do that, I learned to enjoy more my life, my friends, my boyfriend, and everything. And that's why I really emphasize on that fact. Every wait.
Wow. I love that. I think that is so important. And there's a lot of things that we tend to forget. Our final question is all about positive thinking. I think we all have these negative thoughts when something goes wrong, especially with light of this pandemic. How could you tell us to transform what this negative has brought for 2020 into a positive year, into seeing it into a positive year? What would be your advice for people out there? This
So advice for
people who are thinking, because you talk about a lot about positive thinking in your thing. I read where you say positive thinking, determination, and refusing to fall are all criterias that we need to achieve to achieve. And so many people will say they can't do that this year because this year has been totally, for them, they almost say it's a write-off. But in your mind, you still believe there can be some positive that can come out of this 2020. And could you explain and tell us how we can achieve that?
So for me, firstly, as I told you a little bit before offline, I have a routine that allows me to start my day positive.
Mm.
I visualize how I would ideally see my day going. I visualize why I'm doing everything I'm doing today. I pray. I meditate just to be sure that all the negative energy that I might have during my dreams or whatever are completely out of my system. I script a little bit as well. Like I'm happy that, whatever I feel like scripting. I'm not talking about journaling. I'm talking about scripting, what I want to bring in my life. That's what I write about. And that starts my day in a very positive energy. And even when I was in the worst case in my life, worst moments in my life, you know what? I will maybe cry 5 minutes. I'll say, no, that's not what I want.
No.
I need to switch my mindset here.
Mm.
In which reality I want to see myself tomorrow, today, because crying on a situation won't change it.
No, you're right.
Need to switch your mindset to what you want, and don't forget your goals, the goals that you put in yourself. And if you believe in them, you know where to go, and you know that you need to tweak a little bit things sometimes. You can't. I wish I had a plan from A to Z, and it worked all the way. but,
Yeah.
but life puts you into challenges for you to learn and grow.
Mm. Yeah,
Progress.
absolutely. And now, Stephanie, this is amazing. I'm so delighted you spent this morning talking to me, because you really gave great perspective about positive thinking. You really gave us that perspective of being a female entrepreneur and why we need to keep striving. And most importantly, you talked about why we shouldn't be afraid to fail, that failure is all part of the business growth. Any final message of hope to others?
Well, let's hope for a nice and amazing 2021. It can't be worse than 2020, to be honest.
That's true.
It's another. Let's start the decade on the 1st of January year, and see all things positive. I mean, like, it can't be worse. It can't be worse than that. So that's already a very good point. So. Wishing everybody all the best. And during that time, for countries that are still in the lockdown now, think about what you love. Think about your calling, how you see yourself in 10 years, and do a journal scripting and meditate on it, and you will see. My best ideas came during meditation and visualization. In fact, that's why I can't really concentrate on meditation, because I start something, I meditate and try to think of nothing, and which ideas are coming up. And I will recommend to people to do so as well. Relax. It can't be worse than 2020, and it can only get better.
That's true. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for talking to me. Thank you.